Heavenly Father, you have blessed us here today.
Thank you so much for giving us this space and this time. Let us come together in unison to talk about people who have lost their lives and
Let's talk about beef that's not our own.
not. Amen.
Amen.
I've never amened harder. Amen. Okay. I'm Fatou.
And I'm Maz.
And this is
Dinner Party History.
And today we're in a new setting.
Yes.
We're on video this time.
I don't know how we did it, but we did it.
We did it. Come hell or high waters, we got here.
And it was
so
such a
here.
bitch to get here.
It's, for reference, we're filming this on a Friday in LA at like 5 p.m. So getting here was hell.
Yeah.
But again, here we are.
And today's episode is kind of, I don't know, it may be on the nose. It may be on the nose.
It's topical. I prefer topical. It's topical.
We're talking about rap beef.
And as you can tell, we're repping our sets.
Yes.
I have my Biggie shirt. She has her Nas shirt. And so, in the past week, from the time we're recording this, literally today, a week ago, is when Kendrick came out with 2 disses in one day. One in the morning, 6:16 in LA, and then Meet the Grams. And then Drake had, what was his?
I just know push-ups and... Honestly, I'm just a Kendrick dick writer. So when it came
literally
to like any Kendrick
thing, we got the Kendrick vinyl right here.
Like I feel like when Euphoria dropped, it was kind of like, where were you?
Right.
Because I called her and I was just so upset that she didn't tell me.
Because I'm just like, you're like, well, the reason why it's taken so long to come back is because she's been knee deep in work. And I'm just like, you got bigger fish to fry.
But I paused everything. I was like, sorry, partner, I have to go.
The law can wait.
Yeah.
It was really like that meme. I hate to say it, but that meme of George Bush where it's like, ma'am.
Literally.
Kendrick has
and also the way that it started, the way it was so calm in the beginning.
Yeah.
And he
just
switched
up his flow.
Yeah, he tore into everything.
The way that you talk. Like, yeah.
But we're not even going to really talk about
We'll get to
Drake
that
and
towards
Kendrick.
the end. We're going to talk about historical rap beefs. And when I first thought about doing this, I was just like, do we go all the way down the line? But it's like, we could, but it's like, I don't know if y'all really want to hear about Roxanne versus Roxanne, like the real Roxanne, because I'm just like, it's so far deep, and it's like, we don't have all day. We only got an hour here, so it's just like, we're going to stick to early 90s and then work our way up.
I'm so curious to know if the microphone is going to pick up on the way that this chair of yours
I know, I keep squeaking.
Like...
I'm trying not to squeak, so I'm just going to stand still. But, okay, so when you think of, like, legendary rap beef, who do you think of?
Top of mind, Nas Ether. Like, that is kind of what I feel like that was the first track that I heard. I don't even know. I was probably a kid when it came out, but I remember hearing the men in my family. The men in my family were talking about this, and this is what I was referred to. Like, oh, this and the Takeover. Then I think about, for us, it would probably be Remy Ma, right? Going against Nicki Minaj.
I mean, yeah, that was also, like, pretty big. I was going to say, like, obviously Jay-Z, Nas, Ether, and Takeover. But then, like, remember, like, when 50 Cent and...
Oh, my God, 50 Cent and everybody. Kanye.
50 Cent and Ja Rule. 50 Cent and Kanye, but 50 Cent in the game. Remember G.U. Not?
Yes.
That was
God, you're so right.
Because the game was in G-Unit, and then he got out of G-Unit. There's all that drama.
Yeah. Oh, and then obviously Lil' Kim and Foxy
Brown. Of course... Pusha T.
Oh, Pusha T and Drake. That was what, like, I don't know that there has been, like, the drama of the child.
Because that's the thing. It's like a big reveal is great to have. Because obviously everybody's, like, throwing their shots, insults, talking about wives, girlfriends, baby mamas, your own mom. But it's like revealing the child. Like, just, if I was Pusha T, it's like the glee I would have holding that secret to me. And using the perfect time to just drop that bomb.
I wonder how long he was holding on to it.
And it's crazy because it's like people always say like, oh, all he did is just bring up the kid. But I'm just like, he brought up the kid and also weaved in the fact that Drake's dad is a deadbeat. His mom has never had love in her life. Like, he ripped everybody in that family. And again, Kendrick did the same thing with Meet the Grams. It's like, let's talk about the husband.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so I wanted to start early 90s West Coast rap beef. So let's start with NWA versus Ice Cube. Because some
Okay.
people say the greatest rap diss is No Vaseline. Like, they say like it's either Ether or No Vaseline.
Okay.
Okay, so let me.
I'm not that experienced with, I've seen the movie.
I have not seen
Like, I
Fanatic
never
Content.
listened to NWA in my free time, but I love Ice Cube.
Okay, so the premise of the beef is that obviously Ice Cube was in NWA with Dr. Dre, Eazy-E, MC Ren, and I know I'm forgetting somebody else, but he was in NWA. And then while he was in NWA, towards the late 80s, early 90s, he was just like, we are getting fleeced because
Fleeced?
fleeced, like they're getting like scammed, like
Oh,
out of their
okay.
money because
By the white bald man?
by the white bald man.
Okay.
Okay, so he thought they weren't getting paid fairly compared to Eazy-E. And Eazy-E co-founded their label, Ruthless Records, with the white man, Jerry Heller. And then so he was like, okay, we're getting fucked. I'm going to leave NWA. So he leaves NWA, and Dr. Dre and the rest of NWA, they're not happy with it. They don't like him leaving. They're pissed he's leaving. He's making his own shit. And they come out with this EP. And in the EP they have this song. Well, there's multiple songs. It's so weird being on camera. So they have one diss on a song called Real Niggas. And on the
Oh,
song
you're saying the words.
I have to say,
Okay,
Real
period.
Niggas. And in the song, Dr. Dre is calling Ice Cube Benedict Arnold for leaving. Like, you're a
Oh,
fucking
wow.
traitor.
Why does
You
we
left.
have to do an episode on Benedict Arnold? Because the way this man's name gets dragged through the mud
Right, I'm sure
constantly.
he's dead somewhere. Like, why am I?
Like,
in it?
everybody heard about him in third grade and they were like, snitch. That
Really?
and Judas.
Literally, I would say Benedict Arnold and Judas is
Yeah.
like the two biggest traitors of all. Like, who else? Who else we have?
Those are our go-tos.
So he was calling him Benedict Arnold. And then I think the craziest part is that after that, there was a song called the BA Interlude, the Benedict Arnold Interlude.
Damn.
And MC Ren says, and I quote, "When we see your ass, we gonna cut your hair off and fuck you with a broomstick."
Whoa!
Yeah. Trigger
okay.
warning. Trigger, yeah. He said that. It was bad. And so then after that, Ice Cube is like, I'm going to respond. And he comes out with No Vaseline, and he took no prisoners.
I have heard this song.
You've heard No Vaseline. Like, let me read some of the lyrics.
I wish we could play the audio.
But I'm just like, one, copyright, and two, I'm just like, some of the shit he was saying was very, very inflammatory.
I mean, this is definitely fair use, but these days fair use gets no respect on any type of platform.
Listen, who are you telling? There was a lot of, homophobic slurs thrown. There was some anti-Semitism sprinkled in there.
Okay.
What did he, let me pull up some fun lines. While y'all motherfuckers moved straight out of Compton, living with whites, one big house, not another nigga in sight. I started off with too much cargo, dropped 4 niggas, now I'm making all the dough. White man just ruling. Niggas with attitude, who you fooling? I'm saying it like a spoken word.
You are.
And my favorite part was when he said, "Hey, yo, Dre, stick to producing." It was like when
This is like Metro
literally
Boomin.
shut your whole ass up and play the drum.
Although I love the BBL Drizzy.
BBL Drizzy
It's
is-
been stuck in my head. Like,
BBL
I'll be
Drizzy is,
typing
yeah.
up like a brief.
BBL Drizzy.
BBL Drizzy.
It's stuck in my head. So there's that. And he says, "Ayo, Dre, stick to producing. Call me Arnold, but you been a dick." Easy, saw your ass and went in quick. Like, it was pretty bad. And he brings up again the manager, Jerry Heller, and again is just basically saying, y'all are getting fucked in the ass by this white man with no Vaseline.
Was there a resolution?
There was no resolution because NWA never responded.
So when Eazy-E died, was there like closure?
So when Eazy-E, okay, so after this, he drops No Vaseline. They never come out with a response because it's like, it was so bad. What do you even respond to that? It's like, girl, what do we say? So then after that, Dr. Dre ends up leaving NWA as well because he's like, okay, yeah, I'm not getting enough money. And it's like, that's literally what Ice Cube tried to say. So he leaves NWA, and then NWA basically dissolved. And then a few years later, Eazy-E dies of AIDS complications. And then after that, things kind of, reconvene. And once Dr. Dre creates Death Row Records with Suge Knight, then a couple years later, that is when Ice Cube reunites with Dr. Dre. And it's like they meet up, and he was just like, it's kind of like, nothing happened. Because it's like,
Okay,
you gotta
good.
let some time pass. They didn't just make up, a couple months later. It's like, no, we had to take some time. Because that's pretty fucking
Fair
bad. And our
enough.
friend died, so it's just like, yeah.
I hope he went to the funeral.
Honestly, I need to Google that.
Brief interlude. Yeah, this is definitely your area of expertise. I feel like most of my knowledge is what I've learned from
Oh,
barbecues.
they
What?
weren't there. The only What? I'm just finding this out right now. I should have done more fucking research. The only person from NWA to go to Eazy-E's funeral was DJ Yella. Dr. Dre, MC Ren, and Ice Cube. None of them went.
You don't think they were invited?
I don't even know.
When I think about Eazy-E, and this is so horrible
Honestly,
on
we
my
need a
part,
page Danny
is
for
I
this
think about that My Sweet, what was it, MTV or VH1 that had the My Sweet 16?
Oh yeah,
And
with
they had
Eazy-E's
Eazy-E's daughter.
Her name was Erin. Yeah,
That's
that
what I
was the
think
whole
about.
thing. Okay, but yeah, so they didn't go to the funeral. Apparently, it was still because of the unresolved issues, which makes sense. But I'm just like, damn.
When somebody's dead, I feel like you would just kind of let it go.
Yeah, but I mean, damn. Well, but I'm like with No Vaseline, like there's a clear winner where it's like NWA versus Ice Cube. Obviously, it's Ice Cube. Like I was playing it in the car, and I'm just like, oh, oh, oh.
It ate.
He kept going. He kept going.
What is your number one diss record?
We gotta wait till the end because I'm just like I can't give an answer now. I really have to give
Okay.
a think. But I'm like it wasn't No Vaseline. But now that I re-listen of No Vaseline, I'm just like I gotta put it up there just for the simple fact that he knocked them all down like bowling pins. He got every single one of them, and I'm just
Right.
like you're done.
I'd like to hire him. I can see the allure of a ghostwriter because if I could hire somebody to write the way like a diss track for everybody that I would like to say a few nice words to.
I mean that's the thing. That's the thing on like Real Housewives where like the housewives will have like people like write their shady quips against other
Oh, I thought that
housewives.
they actually came up with that, but
I think some of them do, but I'm just like some of them it's like oh that's a rehearse read.
right.
And
I
they'll-
guess you kind of do that when you write my Valentine's Day poems.
girl, those are not disses.
Yeah, every Valentine's Day, Fatu writes a slam poem where she talks about all the men and women I've dated that year, and she does a review.
Did I write a slam poem this? I did.
You did.
I did. I think the best one was the one from last year. That was like
Yeah.
Tabernacle. That was Tabernacle. So for that one, I'm thinking we're gonna champion Ice Cube as the winner there.
Okay.
And so if I'm trying to go chronologically, obviously we're still skipping over some stuff. But we're gonna go Biggie and Tupac. And as you can see by my shirt, obviously I'm a Biggie fan.
We
And-
used to get into this a lot
And listen,
in the early aughts of our friendship.
it's all subjective because you are a
I'm a huge Pac fan. And
oh,
you
Pac. Just
you're a huge Biggie fan. And now I think when I was like really young, I was just annoying. Like I was one of those annoying troll type of people that are on the internet. Thank God I didn't have Twitter or anything back then cuz I was just so closed-minded. I hated Biggie because I feel like I had to choose a side. And it's like he has great songs. But now with the Diddy thing, it's like,
yeah,
what
okay,
can
that's
we do?
the thing. I've always been Team Biggie, and I used to love a lot of the bad boy music because I used to love Mace as well. But Sean Combs has soured.
He can produce a beat though.
He can produce a beat. You know what? He used to be shimming in those music videos, but it's so hard to talk about this without. I mean, we obviously have to bring up Diddy, but it's just like let's keep it G.
Yeah.
But so I'm a Biggie fan, been a Biggie fan, and I've always wondered the origins of Tupac versus Biggie. So they started as friends.
Close friends.
Like a lot of rap beefs, they normally start as friends. They don't start off as enemies. Even with Kendrick and Drake, they were friends at one
I don't
point.
know that they were friends.
They were colleagues.
Because I feel like with Tupac and Biggie, Biggie came to LA with like it in mind. I want to
Sleeping
meet.
on his couch.
Yeah, I want to meet Pac, and he did. And I mean, he really took him under his wing, and I think that's so sweet.
He did take him under his wing because at the time, so if we're going like chronologically, like in 1993, if I say chronologically one more fucking time. So in 1993, Biggie goes to LA, and that's when, like she's saying, he meets Tupac, and they become friends. It's like, okay, at that point, Tupac was like already coming out with his albums. He was making music. He was a
Because
name.
he was in Digital Underground first.
Right. And then Biggie, he's already made his name in New York as like, kind of like a battle rapper, but he hasn't come out with his full album yet. So in August 1994, Biggie comes out with his first single, Juicy. And then in September, he comes out with his first debut album, Ready to Die. And then by 1994, Tupac had come out with 2 albums and had starred in like 3 films already, like Juice. And then it's like, okay, we both got something going on. It's like, okay, you came out with your album. You're doing good. I'm already come out with 2 albums. I've been in some movies now. Like, we're in a good spot. But then in November 1994, Tupac is in New York to record a song with Lil Sean and meet up with Junior Mafia in the studio. And it's like, as soon as he walks into the studio and is like greeted by everyone, 2 gunmen come in. Or they're already in there.
Well, it happened in the elevator.
It happened in the elevator? Okay, so they're in the elevator, gunmen.
And mind you, and I hate when I say mind you.
Now, mind you.
But apparently the way that Biggie tells the story, and I do believe him, is he says that somebody was like, oh yeah, Pac's coming up the elevator. And he said, oh, go downstairs and tell him to come in.
Right.
And the person goes out there and then they come back running and say, he's been robbed, he's been shot. Like Biggie doesn't believe him. I guess it takes a while for him to even get up and go to him.
Big fella.
And when he gets there, he sees the body. And from then on, Tupac has it in his mind.
This was a setup.
This was a setup.
How could you not think it was
me.
a setup, though? I could 100%.
Well, it was a setup.
You think
It was internal. I think that's what they say now, that it was actually one of his close friends that was on his team. I think they called him Big Stitch or something. I don't know. I shouldn't even say a name because there's so many big stitches out there and stuff.
How many big stitches do you know?
He ends up dying anyway.
Okay.
Rest in peace.
Rest.
Yeah, he ended up, they like took his ring. It was a whole orchestration, but it was internal. I don't think Biggie had...
Tupac's team?
It was Tupac's team. I don't think Biggie had anything to do with it. They say that Diddy may have actually paid some people to be involved. I don't know. There's so many conspiracy theories.
And that's the thing. It's like, there's so many conspiracy theories around this whole Biggie Tupac thing, period. Because like, we still don't know who killed either of them. It's all this just like...
Oh, and what we didn't say is he gets shot, I think, like just a few days before he gets sentenced. Because
we didn't even talk the sentence for what? About what? Nobody wants to talk about it.
He was alleged to have sexually assaulted a woman. I don't want to go into the details. There were a lot of questions about what role he played. Was he responsible? But long story short, and it is grim, a woman was gang raped and she accused him of leaving the scene. Like, she didn't defend him. I mean, he didn't defend her. I don't know the details about the case. And you've put me in a real shitty situation.
And listen, we can skip over that part. So Tupac is robbed and he's shot 5 times. And as he's on the stretcher going into the ambulance, he's flipping off Diddy and he's like, fuck bad boy. Fuck Biggie, fuck all you fuckers. And then within days, Tupac isn't able to make bail for that SA case, so he goes to jail. And then as this is all happening, Diddy visits him in jail and he's like, listen, Bad Boy was not involved. This is all just misunderstanding. We didn't do any of this. And Tupac...
Oh, I didn't know he visited him.
He visited him and Tupac was not convinced. And then, because Ready to Die has already come out in February 1995.
Oh, Who Shot Ya?
Who Shot Ya comes out.
Thing.
And it's one of those things where it's like, oh, talk about wrong song,
and
wrong
that's where
time.
I'm like, you were a dumb fuck for doing that.
And I truly believe him when he's like, this song was already made before. But it's like, imagine... you write a song coincidentally titled Who Shot Ya, talking about a fictional shooting. You sticking someone up and shooting them. Your friend gets shot while you're kind of hosting him. He thinks you did it. And while he's in jail, he finds out you came out with a song called Who Shot Ya. Oh, of course, all hell fucking breaks loose. So that happens. And again, Tupac thinks it's about him. How could you not think it's about him?
And he's going like insane, I think, in jail.
Because again, he's in jail. It's fucking 1995. There's all this beef.
And he does think he's innocent.
Yes.
And you know what? I'm going to stand 10 toes. I do think he's innocent.
Okay.
I'm going to say it.
I don't know if he's innocent or guilty, but if you think he's innocent, I will say I believe he's innocent as well. So then in August 1995, the Source Awards is hosted in New York City, and there's a lot of East Coast, West Coast tension, obviously, because again, everybody knows Tupac got shot and people are thinking, did Biggie do it, whatever? But again, it was in New York. So this is Biggie and Bad Boys turn.
And you also have like a little manipulator. Like, it's almost like Game of Thrones because Suge Knight is also visiting he's visiting Tupac in
Suge
prison
Knight
as well.
and Diddy were definitely agitators.
Definitely.
They were the belligerents in this war, but they were certainly aggravators.
Making the most money.
And agitators. Because then, at the Source Awards, again, hosted in New York, so this is bad boy turf, East Coast turf, Suge Knight comes for Diddy on stage, and he says, any artist out there that wants to be an artist and... I'm sorry. Any artist wants to be an artist and stay a star and don't have to worry about the executive producer trying to be in all the videos, on all the records, dancing, obviously talking about Diddy, come to death row. So he says that, and then like people are like booing him because again, it's in New York, and then Dr. Dre wins Producer of the Year, he's getting booed. Snoop Dogg tries to defend him on stage, he's getting booed. All these West Coast rappers are getting booed on stage, and they're not having a good time in New York. So then, in October of 1995, just a few short months later, Tupac gets bonded out of jail by Suge Knight. He's finally able to make the bond. And while he's out, he's coming out with multiple diss tracks.
Which, isn't that sad to think he couldn't afford it himself?
Right.
That's fucked.
Because the bond was $3 million, and I think like...
Suge Knight paid like 1.5 or something.
1.5 million, and he was able to get out. But it's like, you were coming out with those records, and it's like, you couldn't make the bail. Darn shame. But so then once he comes out, he starts making these diss tracks against Biggie and Bad Boy. With the most iconic diss. The
Ambitions of... Oh, God. That's my favorite album.
Not you getting giddy.
I'm sorry.
So, obviously the most iconic diss he had against Biggie and Bad Boy was Hit 'Em Up that came out in June 1996. So let's walk through some of the lyrics of Hit 'Em Up. It's so funny because I made a TikTok talking about like historic rap beefs and all that. And people in the comments were just like, oh my God, I miss when rap beef wasn't about violence and anger and bringing up families. And I'm like, have you heard the first 5 seconds of Hit 'Em Up? It starts off with, that's why I fucked your bitch, you fat motherfucker. Referring.
It really is an opening line.
I mean, that I haven't heard a better
And the
intro.
music video.
With the get money.
Mm-hmm.
Get money playing in the background. Okay, so I'm going to read off some of the lines. Again, in my spoken word. Verse 1. First off, fuck yo bitch. And the clique you claim. West side when we ride. Come equipped with game. You claim to be a player, but I fucked your wife.
Honestly, justice for Faith Evans. Because I don't think... It's like, I know all the men always are like, yeah, she definitely did. I don't think she did. I believe her story because she says here's the thing. There is one moment where I think she kind of pulls a Meghan Markle in terms of, oh, I had no idea he was a prince. Because she says that she didn't know the beef was really there with Tupac and Biggie, which how is that possible?
Like, that's your man. That's literally your man and you don't know who he's beefing with?
And so apparently he asked her to sing on a track. She did. She later goes to his hotel to collect her $20,000. He propositions her for sex. She says she didn't do it. Pac calls somebody else and says, like, that bitch just left my house. And then he puts it in the song.
So we have the he said, she said. But I'm just like, I wouldn't blame her if she did have sex with him. Because I'm like, you were eating Biggie's ass. Tupac would be such a level up. Tupac was hot. He was sexy.
Was she really eating his ass? Like, how do we know that?
She literally admitted on a podcast, like, yeah, I used to eat Biggie's ass. And I'm just like, there's some things that you have to die with. And that's that. Because that's one ass I don't want to think about eating.
How? Like, did he have to get on all fours for that?
I'm assuming it was all fours. And I'm like, again, that's a big fella. Can't imagine him on all fours. But, you know, she did what she did. So, okay, you claim to be a player, but I fucked your wife. We bust on bad boys. Niggas fuck for life. Plus Puff trying to see me. Weak hearts I rip. Biggie Smalls and Junior Mafia, some mark-ass bitches. That's like some West... Sorry, I'm really getting into it. That's like some West Coast slang. Mark-ass bitches. Mark-ass busters.
Busters is cute.
I love calling Buster.
Buster is fun. Buster needs to be thrown back in the rotation.
Fun. So he's dragging him. He's bringing up Lil C's. He's bringing up Little Kim. Little Kim don't fuck around with real G's. Like,
and doesn't he have Faith Evans in the music video, or am I hallucinating?
I think it's a Faith Evans lookalike. I don't think it was not fucking Faith Evans.
Because I thought if they had already recorded the song, I'm going to look this up
Look
while
it
you
up.
yap-a-do.
So then obviously everybody else in the crew's hopping on the song and stuff. But what I love the most about Hit 'Em Up is the ending of Hit 'Em Up, where he's talking about everybody. He's talking about Mobb Deep. Oh my God, when he says, "Oh yeah, Mobb Deep, huh? You want to fuck with us, you little young ass motherfuckers." The worst part when
Doesn't
he's
he make fun of his...
he said, "Don't all you niggas got sickle cell?"
Yeah.
He said, "You fuck with me, you fuck around and have a seizure or a heart attack." Like, it's not funny. Nothing is funny about sickle cell disease at all. But I'm sorry, the way he said it, I'm just like, whoa, okay.
This place is a dead zone. There's no internet, so I can't fact check.
Well,
We'll find out
somebody
one day.
will fact check us. You better back the fuck up before you get smacked the fuck up.
I love
Fuck
this
you.
side of you.
Fuck you motherfuckers.
It's like you've got a lot of
We're gonna
energy.
kill all you motherfuckers.
Can you tell that this is a Fatou episode?
Yeah. Yeah.
Clearly, I went OD with Nero, and so we had to go OD the other way.
So,
and then we're
yeah.
going to find our way back
Now I'm rapping.
in the next
Now
episode.
I'm rapping. And it feels so nasty saying it with my
You do
Biggie
have a
shirt
good
on.
rap voice.
Talking about Who Shot Ya, I don't think that was about Tupac. And Who Shot Ya, great song.
But it was disrespectful to come out with it at that time without, like,
Right.
some type of extra
The
clarification.
optics were bad. Like, yeah, there was no, like, warning a video, like, warning, this was filmed.
Because you know how it's going to be interpreted.
Right. I blame Diddy. I'm sure he was just like, yeah, no.
And one thing I will say is I believe Biggie had no involvement, and I think he was an innocent bystander. But when he's in those interviews, and anytime he's talking about, oh, I had nothing to do with it, he always has his shades on. I need you to take the
Right, let's
shades
see your
off.
eyes. Let's
I need
see
you
your
to tell
eyes.
me to my face, like the shades. And then you always have Diddy next to him, and he's always like
Well,
he
he
looks
mostly had his
suspicious.
shades on because he was cross-eyed.
Well, no, I know that, but I think that's part of why it's. And plus, I just it would be hard for me to believe it. I need you to really sound like.
Because my thing is, I'm not going to believe
Convincing.
somebody with glasses. I'm not going to believe you if you're cross-eyed. One eye this way, you're lying. Who shot ya? Because now I have to rap Who shot ya? Who shot ya? Separate the weak from the obsolete. Hard to creep them Brooklyn streets. It's on, nigga. Fuck all that bickering beef. I can hear the sweat trickling down your cheek. I can't go on. I can't go on. But I'm just like, it's not a good song to come out with after your friend was shot. We'll just say that. But I love the part when he says, peel more skins than Idaho potato. That was fun. Okay, so back to the timeline. So again, Hit 'Em Up comes out June 1996. And then, a couple months later, September 7th, 1996, Tupac is shot in a drive-by in Vegas. He was there to see a fight. And while he was there, he was shot.
Not just a fight. It was Tyson.
Okay, it was Tyson versus who?
I don't know, but Tyson was involved.
Mike Tyson was fighting somebody. Tupac saw it.
Isn't he going to be fighting Jake? What's his face?
Yes, and I'm just like,
If that's the thing, I can't stand that Jake bastard. I don't know his last name.
Jake
Graham.
Paul.
Jake Paul.
Jake Graham.
I don't know, but I feel like he is such a smug little shit.
He's a smug little shit, and I'm just like, I feel like he's gonna win based off the simple fact that Mike Tyson is a old man. Mike Tyson was fighting people when Biggie and Tupac were rapping around. Like, I'm sorry, but like, Tyson is the greatest, one of the greatest, however you want to debate it, but I'm just like, he is just too old, and boxing is not a geriatric sport.
I know. I'm just hoping because he said he stopped smoking weed. He's in the gym. And that's the thing. It's also unfair. Like, you're literally young and you're going against Tyson.
Literally an old man.
It
He is
all
literally
feels
an
like
old
a
man.
setup.
Isn't Mike Tyson like in his 60s?
So many of his fights seem staged. And then he has that brother Logan Paul, but nobody seems to hate Logan as much.
I forget about that one. All I know is Mike Tyson is 57 years old. And I don't want to see a 57-year-old
Yeah,
man
because if
fight.
you see him get punched in the face,
Right.
that's going to be heartbreaking.
Like, obviously, I know Mike's going to get some licks in, but it's like, is he going to? I don't know. Whatever. I feel like whatever the outcome is, the fight's already been fixed. We
I
just
agree.
don't know. 'Cause
Back to the regular schedule
so again,
programming.
So September 1996, Tupac is shot. And then a
But
week
he beat the shit out of that Crip before because they were in the hotel lobby or like in the,
story.
Okay, they were in the casino. Ooh, I can see you looking at me. You can see them in the casino after the fight, and like you see them kicking and jumping this Crip who apparently stole the death row chain, and I guess they were claiming that they were the kings then. And afterwards, they ran back to the hotel. He changes his clothes. He kisses Kiata goodbye. Kidada breaks my heart.
Kidada Jones, daughter of Quincy Jones, sister of Rashida.
And then they're driving and the car pulls up.
So he shot September 7th, and a week later on September 13th, because he was in the ICU and he was on life support, but he has so much internal bleeding that on September 13th, he succumbs to his injuries and he dies.
And then all of the conspiracy theories come.
And then all the conspiracy, who did it? Was it the Crips? The guy he just stomped out? What happened? Was it Bad Boy? Was it Diddy? Was it East Coast? Like, who knows what happened? We don't know. The case still remains unsolved, but we do know that 6 months later, after he comes out with his first single for his second album, ironically titled Life After Death, Biggie is in LA for the Soul Train Awards, and it's crazy because, like, the awards was on one day, and then the next day he was supposed to fly to London, but he doesn't end up flying to London and ends up staying in LA for a Vibe magazine party, and that night he is shot and killed in a drive-by shooting in March 1997.
It's sad.
So there are no winners because they both died so young. They died when they were 24 and 25. Right now, as we record this, we are older than Biggie and Tupac. And it's crazy because it's like, at that point, Tupac had come out with 4 albums. Biggie's album technically came out after he died. So he came out with 1 album and was coming out with the second. And again, they both die so young. So there's no winners there.
No.
There are no winners.
I grew up in a household that told me that Pac was killed by the FBI.
Of course. Okay.
Big conspiracy theories.
Never got into those conspiracy theories. I just know I grew up in a bad boy household. There is a lot of Mace playing, a lot of, unfortunately, Diddy playing, a lot of Biggie playing, and a lot of Lil' Kim. But my mom's ringtone for a long time was Keep Your Head Up.
Oh, I love that song.
So we at least have that. Okay, so yeah, I guess there is no winner. I'm going to say the winner is...
I'm going to give it to Tupac.
I'm going to give it...
For obvious reasons.
I'm going to give it to... Because I'm like...
I think Who Shot You was... But, I mean, we can't count that.
Right. But I'm like, again, Hit 'Em Up is so iconic that I'm like, okay, technically you won by default.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, that was a great diss. You're talking about sickle cell and people's wives. Like,
yeah.
Okay, you win, Tupac. So now we're working our way through the 90s. We're back to New York. This time it's not East Coast versus West Coast. It's East versus East and Lady versus Lady. Lil' Kim versus Foxy Brown. And this one is obviously like a legendary beef because they were such like iconic female rappers and like came up at such a good time. But I think they were fighting over such petty shit. I think it was mostly just like petty drama that women have, and also like their teams like putting things in each other's ears, being like, "Ah, oh, Foxy's doing this. Ah, oh, Kim's doing this." Like, I don't think it was like a serious beef. So Kim and Foxy, really similar, and they came up around the same time, and they were both managed by Lance, aka Rivera, who ended up being stabbed allegedly by Jay-Z, but apparently Jay-Z didn't actually stab him.
I didn't know anything about that.
It was because Lance was allegedly bootlegging Jay-Z CDs, and when Jay-Z found out, he was like, "You're breaking my heart," and stabbed him in the stomach. Allegedly.
Okay.
Allegedly. So that happens. Well, that happens like later. But anyway, so they're both managed by this man, and at the time, people are part of crews. Like, there's always like a big rap crew, and there's women in the crews. So Kim was in Junior Mafia under Biggie's wing, and Foxy was in The Firm with Nas under his wing. And so then in November 1997, Lil' Kim drops her debut album Hardcore, and a week later, Foxy drops her debut album, Il Nana. And at this time, again, they're still friends. And Foxy's even shouting out Kim in the song Il Nana, saying, waiting for Kim's album to drop, no one is tight. So, like, they were good at that time. They're friends. And then a couple months later, they're both on the cover of the Source magazine together. And they get propositioned to do a joint project together by Leo Cohen called Thelma and Louise, and they were offered like $500,000 to do this joint project together, and they don't end up doing it for whatever reason. I think there was a lot of egos involved, and apparently at one point, like Foxy wanted to do it, but Kim didn't want to do it, but then Kim wanted to do it, and Foxy was like, I don't want to do it anymore, so it never ended up happening. We have no Thelma and Louise with Foxy and Little Kim. And so there's like tension, and some people say like the rumor is they originally started fighting because they were wearing like the same outfits in like their album artwork. Like in hardcore, like in like some of the album artwork, like Kim is wearing like this bodysuit.
Oh, like the jumpsuit.
Yeah, and then Foxy ends up wearing that, and I'm just like, that is some shit.
It's like sister beef.
Sister beef, like things women would fight over. Like that bitch is wearing the same fucking bodysuit I was fucking wearing. She jacked my like. I can see how that could happen. And again, it's like when you have your people saying shit like, yeah, I mean, Foxy is copying you. Foxy wishes she was you. Kim wishes she was you. Oh, you're a much better. Like with all those things happening. Again, I can see how it built up to that. So then in January 1999, Foxy comes out with her second album, China Doll, and she sneak disses Kim on her song. And then later, Kim comes for her on Little Caesar's song, Play Around, and Diddy even jumps in on that, talking about Foxy Brown. And then Kim comes for Foxy directly on her album, Notorious K.I.M., on like the first song on the album. And it's like,
and this is the one where she's got like her...
Yeah,
okay,
when she's like the pink background, and it's like she's got like the tattoo on her stomach like that. And then when Foxy comes out with her next album, she's trying to make amends, and it's like Foxy and her mom were like robbed at gunpoint, and Kim reaches out to her, and they're trying to like, squash it and bury the hatchet. And it's like they end up reconciling and then kind of falling out again. And at this point today in 2024, I don't know where Kim and Foxy stand. All I know is it was a bit...
I would assume not well, because wasn't Foxy in Nicki's ear as well?
I do think
instigating. Yeah. I think that's
and we'll get to Nicki later. We'll get to Nicki later, but yeah, I do think Foxy is a Kim fan. So there's that. I mean, Foxy is a Nicki fan, and Nicki and Lil' Kim.
Another sad falling out.
Because again, it's like, we know this person was an inspiration for you because, again, Foxy Brown and Little Kim were the biggest female rappers of New York at the time. And of course, Little Kim is the queen bee. And who calls herself the queen?
Listen,
you
Minaj. Like Nicki Minaj as well.
I love Nicki Minaj, but Nicki Minaj, she frustrates me.
I love her music so much. I do feel like it hurts me when I see people come for her. But also she kind of has become a little bitter.
And that's the thing. It's like she had a monopoly on female rap music for so long, and there were obviously other people there while she was rapping, but she was at the top of her game. She was like the number one female rapper for years, and then
she got drunk with power.
And
then people were attacking her.
But then other female rappers are starting to come up. Then we get all these other people, and it's like, oh,
because those Ice Spice messages you sent me, that was so disappointing.
We'll get to that.
I'm sorry.
But I'm just, actually, I don't even know if we'll get to that because I'm just like, that's so convoluted. There's so much, but I'm like, that's Kim versus Foxy. And with that, again, the diss tracks to me are like whatever, but I'm going to say I'm always Team Little Kim, but I love Foxy Brown. I have a Little Kim rug in my apartment. I love Little Kim. I love Notorious K.I.M. I love Hardcore. I love the one she made right before she went to jail. What was that one called? Fuck, I can't remember, but I love that album too. But Foxy Brown, I love Il Nana. It tastes just like candy.
Do you think she really was genuinely
me?
Like she had feelings for Biggie?
I do. It wasn't
just a jump
maybe in like a
off.
Stockholm syndrome kind of.
He was really getting bitches.
He was abusive. He was ugly as sin. It's wrong to speak ill of the dead, but I'm just like, sometimes the decision is unanimous. He was.
Yeah.
He wasn't the looker of the group. But I do think Kim did love him. And he treated her so badly.
So he was with Kim first, and then he got with...
Faith.
Did he cheat on Kim with Faith?
I think he cheated on both of them with each other at multiple times. But I'm just like, that's Kim versus... Are you Team Kim or Team Foxy?
I don't really have a stake in that war. I like both
But I'm like,
of their
who do you
songs.
prefer better?
That's really hard. I probably listen to Foxy more.
Because of Nas. The Firm.
That's not even why. I feel like I love... I don't want to do the woyo because I'm not going to embarrass myself, but I just like a lot of her songs.
Okay, I'm going to make you choose Big Mama Thing or Ain't No Nigga. Jay-Z's on both
You got it
songs.
going on. I'm going to have to
I
go.
used to be scared of the dick. Now I throw lips to the shit. Handle it like a real bitch. Had the hunter Jenna jack me. Take it in the butt. And then we have Ain't No Nigga. Ain't no nigga like the one I got.
No one can fuck you better.
Sleeps around, but he gives me a lot.
I'm going to go with that.
It's so hard. Oh, she's talking about bullshit Berettas. Oh, fuck. Ooh.
But then again, it's like Lil' Kim is such an intimate part of my life story. I feel like I associate her with my womanhood in a lot of ways. And I won't go further.
That's for the Patreon we don't have yet. But in terms of Ain't No Nigga versus, I'm going to go with Ain't No Nigga.
Yeah.
I think, but it's both really good. That's neck and neck. I'm going to have to do a poll because those are really, really good songs. But speaking of Jay-Z, let's get into Jay-Z.
Okay.
Shall we? Nas versus Jay-Z. And
this
again,
is just like before with Tupac and Biggie.
Again, another one of your biases. You love you some Nas. So let's talk about it. So in April 1994, Nas comes out with his debut album,
Illmatic.
Illmatic, a classic rap album.
But I will say nothing annoys me more than when you go, and this doesn't happen anymore because we don't date, like we're older now. So, but I feel like when you're in college or high school, the most annoying men, particularly white men, would have Illmatic posters in their bedrooms.
Illmatic posters.
God, it's so irritating.
hokey.
And anytime somebody says like, "Oh, my favorite album of all time is Illmatic," even as such a Nas fan, it kind of gives me the ick.
Because I'm just like, okay, anything else?
It's just so easy.
Like, what do you like?
But I guess
aside
I
from
wasn't
Illmatic?
like, maybe if it came out and you were like in your teens or 20s, I'm sure that was just like gripping.
I mean, yeah, it's 1994. It's like we don't have the huge selection of music that we have now.
Yeah.
But so it comes out April 1994, and Jay-Z is a fan of Nas. Some would say they were friends up to a certain point. So at this time, Jay-Z is recording his album Reasonable Doubt, his debut, and while he's recording it, he asks Nas for a feature on his song Bring It On. Nas doesn't do it for whatever reason. But then on the album, he has a song Dead Presidents, which samples Nas's song The World Is Yours. So
I
he's
love that
being
song.
cheeky, adds that in there. And then a month later, Nas comes out with another album, It Was Written, and it comes out and he's taking some shots at Jay. And during this time, late 90s are going back and forth with each other. And Jay loves to do his cheeky little thing where he's sampling Nas's voice and Nas's song on his songs, because then Jay-Z comes out with Rap Game, Crack Game, and then on Where I'm From, he raps, I'm from where niggas... It's so hard for me to do this.
And this one is so funny because it's literally, it's like the original version of who is
The
it?
Big
K-Dot. Yeah, exactly.
Literally. So when J. Cole was talking about who's the big three, me, Drake, or Kendrick, this is Jay-Z's version saying, I'm from where niggas pull your card and argue all day about who's the best MCs, Biggie, Jay-Z, and Nas. So then he says that, and it's like, it agitated Nas in the same way that it agitated Kendrick.
Which I'm just like, take the fucking compliment.
It's like, take the compliment. It's just like, shut up. I came out first. You wanted me to be on your fucking album. Biggie dies. You can't stop talking about Biggie. And now Biggie's dying. You're saying you're the king of New York rap. Now shut the fuck up. That's what I think Nas was saying back then. I don't know. It's just my thought there. So they're going back and forth for years, and it's like they're not really cool.
What I love is Nas says that he knew that Jay had a Lexus, so he returned his Lexus.
Literally,
How
yeah. On the
fucking
song, Jay-Z's like, because Jay-Z's rapping on one of his songs talking about how he has like, Lexus with the TVs in it, and Nas is like, a Lexus with the TVs in it is bare fucking minimum. You broke
Return the
ass,
car.
new fucking rapper, don't even have shit. So he's like, I don't even want a fucking Lexus anymore. Fuck you. So then, it all comes to a head in 2001 when Jay-Z comes out with the Blueprint, and on the Blueprint is the Takeover. And the Takeover is a legendary diss.
But Nas bit first, right? Didn't he he came out with some song I thought where he was being shady.
Yeah, again, because they were both, again, going back and forth for years. So it's like, Nas was saying shit and Jay-Z was saying shit. But Jay-Z was like, I'm going to put my foot down on the Blueprint and I'm going to officially come after you. And for the longest time, I was always Team Takeover over Ether. And Takeover still holds a place in my heart because I think it's like a better sounding song. But in terms of dissing, Ether obviously wins. But let me read to you some of my favorite lines from Takeover. Starts off, The takeover. The break's over, nigga. God MC, me, Jehovah. Why are you making that face? Hey, little soldier, you ain't ready for war. ROC too strong for y'all. It's like bringing a knife to a gunfight, pen to a test. So he's talking his shit, and he's saying all kinds of things. He's talking about how shitty his music is. They're talking about Mobb Deep. Mobb Deep was in everybody's fucking shit. I'm sure Mobb Deep was like, why am I in it? And so then he says, I don't care if you Mobb Deep. I hold triggers to cruise. You little fuck, I got money sacks bigger than you. When I was pushing weight back in '88, you was a ballerina. You was a ballerina. I got the pictures. I seen you. Is Nas a dancer? Do you know him to be a dancer?
I don't know him to be a dancer. I know maybe he was in the ballet.
Well, on Summer Jam, in 2001 at Summer Jam, on the screen, he posted pictures of a young Nas dancing. He was not doing ballet, but he was dancing. And so it's like, okay, childhood him dancing. Oh, what's so wrong with that? And he said, then you drop shook ones and switch your demeanor. Well, he's talking about Mobb Deep. We don't believe you. We need more people. Classic line. Classic line. And so then as he's working his way in the song, in the third verse, he's bringing up Nas again. And there's a lot of homophobic slurs in all of these disses, to be totally honest. But my favorite is, had a spark when you started, but now you're just garbage. Fell from top 10 to not mention it all. To your bodyguard's Uchiwali verse is better than yours. Matter of fact, you had the worst flow in the whole fucking song.
I disagree.
But I know the sun don't shine, the sun don't shine. That's why you're lame. Careers come to an end. It's only so long fake thugs can pretend. Nigga, you ain't lived it. You witnessed it from your folks' pad. You scribbled it in your notepad. Created your life. He was going on and on and on. He was like talking about how shitty his albums were. He's like,
that one I think probably cut.
He's like, you said you've been in this 10? I've been in it 5. Smarten up, Nas. 4 albums in 10 years, nigga, I could divide. That's whenever, let's say, 2 of them shits was due. One was the other was Illmatic. That's a one hot album every 10-year average. And that's so lame. Like, it was fucking funny. And Kanye produced that. But yeah, it was bad. He said, nigga, switch your flow up. Your shit's garbage. You trying to kick knowledge? Like, he was just talking all kinds of shit. And he closes it out with saying, and all you other cats throwing shots at Jigga, you only get half a bar. Fuck you niggas. So that happens, and it's like, oh, shoot. Is Nas cooked? Because, yeah, at the time, people were like, is Nas falling off? Like, what's Nas doing?
Oh, my God. Didn't he do that thing where was it this one or the next one where he dropped hints about, like, don't make me talk about you know who?
That was this one. Let's keep that between me and you. Yes, yes, yes. Who was he talking about?
When does he bring up Carmen? Because apparently Nas's baby mama was Carmen, and Carmen Jay-Z brought that up, and he called, well, I think he first threatened, right? He first said, like, don't make me bring it up. And then after Nas dropped Ether, Jay-Z opened the floodgates and dropped
Super
Carmen's
Ugly.
name.
And he dropped Super Ugly when he's like name dropping Carmen and talking about moms. And even Jay-Z's mom was like, you took it too far.
Right?
You took it too far, Sean. So that happens.
But
and it's
cheating on Nas with Jay-Z is crazy to
Because
me.
again,
one has a face and the other doesn't.
Because again, I can see why somebody is, cheating on Biggie with Tupac, but cheating on Nas with Jay-Z, cricket.
Maybe somehow he got Beyonce, so he must have really good riz.
And I'm just like, that's one of those things I will never fully understand, but it's like, it is what it is. So then...
Ether.
I'm
excited to hear you rap Ether. Because I feel like even the intro is so just, you're in for a storm.
So a couple months later, Nas comes out with Stillmatic in 2001. And on Stillmatic, we get Ether. And the thing that I don't like, that I thought was corny about Ether, is in the background how he's like, I will not lose. I thought that was corny, but I'm like, the beat is sick, and I'm just like, the lyrics were nasty. Nasty, nasty song.
He does love that. I know. He loves to do a little speech in there.
Yeah. Do you have any favorite lines from Ether?
Not really. I don't like any type of beef. I think you know that I'm so non-confrontational that I like to skip forward the rap beef and just get to the good vibes.
So there's so many good lines in Ether. My favorite is when he says, you a fan, a phony, a fake, a pussy, a stan. I'll whoop your ass. You 36 in a karate class? You a Thai boho.
Okay, Thai boho is one that we all know.
Thai boho is so funny because I'm just like, again, that's why I think rap is playful. Like, people are saying, like, oh, this Kendrick line was corny, this Drake line was corny. They're calling each other Thai bohos. Multiple times he's talking about how ugly Jay-Z is, calls him a camel, talking about how big his lips are, and it's just like he's dragging him. He's dragging him. And he says, Rockefeller died of AIDS. That was the end of his chapter. And that's the guy y'all chose to name your company after? Put it together. I rock hoes, y'all rock fellas. And I'm just like, okay. He was going on and on and on. And my favorite part, again, is when he says, Negro, please. No, I got to take the other part first. So he goes, what, you think you're getting girls now because of your looks? Negro, please. You will no mustache having with whiskers like a rat. Compared to beans, you whack. But I'm just like, Thai boho, talking about the karate classes. You don't have a mustache. Camel, big lips. He's going on and on and on. Bringing up Russell Simmons, bringing up Beanie Sigel, all these things, bringing up Foxy Brown, saying you were in Foxy's puss. And I don't know if we're going to get into this now, but Jay-Z met Foxy Brown when she was quite young and was underage, and they were alleged to have had a relationship of some sort together, allegedly. And that's all I'm going to say about that. It's all alleged, and we're going to end it there. But what I did not know about this Jay-Z Nas beef is that in 2002, at the following Summer Jam, Nas had planned on lynching an effigy.
Oh, wow. I'm glad
Jay-Z.
that didn't happen.
And they're obviously like, you cannot fucking lynch Jay-Z. You cannot lynch let me pull up the fucking story, because I was reading it like, there's no way this is true. So he has this, I'm going to show you. I'm going to pass it to you, and I'm going to show you, because I was just like, you cannot be real. This is what he was going to lynch.
I pray that's fake.
It was
Surprisingly,
real.
it does look like him.
It was real. So we planned on doing it at the 2002 Summer Jam, and obviously it never went on, but there's like video footage of them like putting like this big Jay-Z head in the gallows. And I'm just like, okay, that was like obviously taking, like that was like, okay,
Yeah, that's taking
we're getting
it a
into
bit far.
KKK territory. And I'm like, what happened to the sculpture afterwards? Who has, like, was it demolished? Like, does it, somebody still have it in their garage? I don't know. So again, after Ether drops, Jay-Z is on the radio show, Angie Martinez, and is like, apparently, I don't know if he was actually crying, but it sounded like he was crying, and he was pretty hurt.
No way.
Yes.
Crying?
He wasn't like bawling, but it's like his voice sounded like it was cracking, and he was talking about Ether on the radio with Angie Martinez. And that's the thing. It's like, not everybody has Instagram, Twitter, TikTok.
You would have
Back
to
then, you have to
call
go on the
in.
radio. You're on the Wendy Williams show. You're on the Angie Martinez show. You're on Hot 97, and you are talking to the radio host because they're the ones in charge of everything. And so that's happening. And me, again, I always love a takeover, but in hindsight and looking back at things now, it's obvious Nas won. Nas cleared Jay-Z so bad.
But you know, when it comes to overall music catalog, I will give it to Jay-Z.
Wow, with your Nas shirt on. I hope
I will.
Nas sees this and blocks you.
I think Nas is like, I think what would be really hard is if I put God's Son versus the Black Album. That would be really difficult for me.
And God's Son is...
Those are both so... Yeah. But it has Made You Look. It has
I'm
Hey
going to go with
Nas.
the Black Album. I love 99 Problems.
I love Allure on the Black Album. Get Down. I'm going to have to go God's Son. But I'm killing the Black Album with like tears in my eyes.
I understand. So there's obviously back and forth as the years went on, but in 2005, Jay-Z and Nas went on stage together and seemingly squashed the beef. And they seem fine now and are in good places. Beyonce is married to Jay-Z. Nas owns a chain of chicken tender joints. It seems like everybody's in a good spot.
Didn't he do like Coinbase or something? Like he invested in Coinbase and made a shit ton of money?
Tell me.
I think he did. I've always been so in love. I think because as a kid, I thought I was going to be with him, like delusional.
Like imagine being
literally
like 8 years
thought
old being like...
that he was going to be,
he's going to be
my man.
My man. Bitch, you ain't left me for dead,
1,000%. And I've told you the story how when I saw Khalees drop the Milkshake music video, I was so enamored with her. Like the first time I saw it, I remember just being like, oh my God, she's got these low-rise pants. This is so sexy. She's going to be my new favorite.
And then she started dating Nas, and you
And
fell to
then
your
in the
knees.
music video, all of a sudden you see Nas because he's like playing a cook in the background and he smacks her ass. And I was just like,
No,
I hate her.
that was your personal night.
And I remember walking with my dad to 7-Eleven like someday after seeing it. And I was like, why would he do that? Like, she doesn't even carry herself well. I was so annoying. Such a pick
She
me.
doesn't carry herself
Such
well.
a pick me.
So you were shaking ass to milkshake until you saw
Yes.
Nas, and you're like, now she
Like-
doesn't carry herself well. That tramp.
Yeah. Luckily, I grew up. But that's when he told me, like, listen, ass will make a black man do crazy things.
And you know what?
And I learned that, and I made
Very-
that my principle.
Very tumultuous union they had in that
Yeah.
iconic green dress.
That's another situation. I mean, when you look at anybody's skeletons, you're always just like, fuck.
Yeah. But let's, get into like some of these rap beef vignettes. Because another crazy one was Eminem versus Benzino, who, first of all, people know him as Coi Leray's dad or know him as being on Love and Hip Hop and not having a neck. But he was, the co-founder of the Source magazine. And it was a big deal at the time. I'm pretty sure I have a Source magazine in my backpack. But I don't want to get up and get it. Well, let me go get it. And me, a hip-hop historian myself, I have a Source magazine here. Cameras, are we getting this? Are you seeing
He
this?
looks so cute.
It's right there. So anyhow, Benzino and Eminem have this back and forth beef or whatever. And he does not like... So Eminem does not like Benzino because when he came out with the Marshall Mathers LP, all these publications are giving him like 5 out of 5 stars, like you nailed it, perfect album. But the Source gives him 4 out of 5 stars. And he takes issue with that. So he's going back and forth with Benzino. And Benzino, I don't know how, but Benzino gets dirt on Eminem and uncovers these tapes of him doing racist raps.
What?
Yeah.
I have never heard of this before.
Oh, yeah. He has racist songs and he's literally saying the N-word. And he's talking about his ex-girlfriend who was black at the time. And Eminem has like copped to it. Like literally he says, let me read what he says. He says, all the girls I like to bone have big butts. No, they don't. Because I don't like that N-word hard R shit. I'm here to make a bigger hit. And he says, blacks and whites, they sometimes mix, but black girls only want your money because they dumb chicks. Never date a black girl because they all want your money. Ain't that shit funny?
These are real?
Yeah. And Benzino had a press conference and was like, we have to treat this the same way we treat Mike Tyson and Kobe and R. Kelly and O.J. Simpson. He was like, we're having a press conference to
Well,
talk
now
about
I'm like
Eminem.
Team Benzino.
I mean, yeah. And Eminem's like, oh, I made this after I broke up with my girlfriend who was black. I was dumb. I was young. I was foolish. But I'm like, you said the hard R.
I feel like those are really...
I'm like,
That's like a
even
breakup is not
little even
even
worse. It's like
a little bit of an
his
excuse.
excuse is I had a breakup, and it's like you had a breakup, so you're calling your girlfriend the hard R.
You're calling black women stupid.
And then it's like he's coming out
users.
wearing these fucking big ass FUBU tracksuits with a fucking do-rag on. A do-rag for what?
Ooh, you've really hurt me deep today.
Ooh, that was nasty. That was one where I read that and I was shocked. I was gooped and I was gagged. And obviously like you'll say like Eminem won the beef because obviously Eminem's huge. Benzino has no neck and his daughter hates him. But I'm just like,
the way that nobody talks about this.
I'm going to make a TikTok about it because I'm like, literally nobody talks about this. It's fucked up. And there's going to be so many Eminem dick riders. Oh, come on. Like, he's with the culture. Come on. I'm just like,
yeah, a culture that he clearly fucking disrespected.
Literally, by said the hard R. Doesn't matter if you're with the culture. You said the hard R. You were so mad about your black
what was he
ex-girlfriend.
saying, but like not on the fucking recording?
Who fucking knows? I don't.
Because I will say, and this is another generalization, but I feel like usually if there's a white person and they only like Eminem, like, oh, I don't like rap music, but I like Eminem and the Beastie Boys.
Flag.
Come on. And that happens so often.
And I'm not buying it. Like, oh, I like Eminem. Or who else is like a big white rapper?
The Beastie Boys is huge.
But oh my God, that's old head shit.
I guess
I never heard nobody born after.
Yeah, nobody talks about the Beastie Boys anymore.
No. So
Logic.
So there's like a whole thing because there was a temporary restraining order with The Source and Benzino and Eminem. And during the legal battle, they found that The Source violated the temporary restraining order by distributing these racist tapes, and they were required to pay Eminem's legal fees. However, the judge, who was probably just as messy as you or me, the judge allowed Benzino and The Source to distribute a CD that included a 20-second clip of the uncovered Eminem songs.
Wait, so he tried to get like a temporary restraining order on their ability to distribute?
Some kind of a gag order.
Okay.
And so, yeah, then that happened. And I can't believe that. I can't believe that.
That's really
like
upsetting.
Eminem. I'm just like, wow. I had a huge phase.
You loved Eminem.
I loved Eminem in middle school because it was like angry, angsty music. But it's like I listened to Eminem and cringe in the same way I listened to like old Tyler the Creator and cringe because I'm like, you were saying some off the wall shit. Eminem, his brain was fried from all the drugs he was doing. He's clean now, thank goodness. But I'm just like, you were saying some crazy stuff when he was on that stuff.
Yeah, I think about Stan.
Tea's gone cold, I'm wondering why.
I never was a big Eminem fan. I did have like that annoying stage where I liked D12.
My window.
D12.
D12, love my band.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What was the song where he talks about? No, Stan is the one where he kills his. I think he was violent in a lot.
I mean,
of his
he came
songs,
out
actually.
with
Kim.
Kim is one where he's
I think we studied that in like in a law class about. Well, is this threatening?
Because I mean, Kim, Eminem's ex-wife, and him were in legal battles for years. They were going back, and him and his mom were in legal battles for years because he came out with cleaning out my closet. Like Eminem is just crazy.
Who's next?
And then I don't even know if you know about this, but T.I. versus Lil Flip.
I don't. Is Lil Flip? I feel like I've only heard one of his songs.
I feel like the most famous Lil Flip song that I know is
it Sunshine?
Sunshine. I can call you my baby. Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, remember when T.I. had that show? Was it on BET?
The Family Hustle.
Is that where he was doing like community service? He would take kids that were acting up and he would show them.
Oh, no, that was another one. I think that one might have been on BET.
That one.
But T.I. and Lil Flip, they had beef because T.I. started referring to himself as King of the South. And Lil Flip is from Houston. And he's like, I'm King of the South. What are you talking about? But I'm like, honestly,
nobody knows who you are anymore.
I don't know. But I mean, T.I. did have his heyday. So then T.I. ends up going to Lil Flip's hood. He goes to Houston and he is like making a music video, rapping. He's doing Lil Flip's little dance. There's all his people in the background and it's like bad. And it led to like an all out like confrontation and a brawl. And they ended up, squashing the beef or whatever. But it's like to drag somebody and say, I'm the King of the South, and then go to their hood, make a music video, have the neighborhood in it. You're dancing and laughing at him. Like, that's pretty embarrassing.
Yeah.
So next,
I would like to see T.I. on College Hill. He would eat it up.
It would be funny though.
He would eat
it up and start saying all those big fucking words. So we haven't even got into Lil' Kim versus Nicki Minaj. So again, for the longest time, it's like a lot of people were saying, Lil' Kim, Queen Bee, most iconic female rapper, and then Lil' Kim, she goes to jail. Her career kind of slows down because, okay, she came out in the 90s and it's now like the mid 2000s. She's still, coming out with music and stuff, but going to jail, kind of put a damper on things. And as time's going on, we have other female rappers coming out. We're getting the Remy Ma's of the world, the Rodigas, Trinas, Shauna, all these people. And then, obviously, in the late 2000s, early 2010s, we have Nicki coming out. Nicki's doing her freestyles and stuff. And Nicki was saying all kinds of things. She was coming for Lil' Kim. She was coming for Remy Ma. And it's like Lil' Kim and Nicki had that beef. And I remember specifically when Nicki Minaj came out with Stupid Ho, I hated that song. I hated Stupid Ho.
Was that, you a stupid hoe.
You was stupid. Yeah. I hated that song. And I honestly don't even know like the first stone thrown in the Lil' Kim versus Nicki thing, but I know it was Nicki.
I thought it was Lil' Kim.
I think it's Nicki. And it's one of those things where
You'll
it's like...
You'll never give her the benefit of the doubt.
It's one of those things where it's like, okay, when you come out, it's like, obviously, you pay homage to the people that came before you. You're our rap forefathers and foremothers. And it's like, then it's like Nicki just came out the gate, and obviously, everybody's kind of shook because it's like, okay, this girl's rapping. She gets signed to Young Money, and it's like, okay, she's the big female rapper. And I remember at one point, it's like, ah, Nicki comes out with Pink Friday, and then
Black Friday.
Black Friday comes. And the most embarrassing thing, I love Lil Kim, but the most embarrassing thing is when she comes out with Black Friday and then comes out with like this post. I don't know if it was on Twitter or whatever, but I think it was on Twitter, and she was like, we did it. These numbers are crazy. We broke PayPal records. And it's just like, people are talking about, going number one, going platinum, going gold. And Lil Kim is saying, we broke PayPal records.
PayPal records for what?
And then for like most album like sold or like most money made for the album,
Oh.
then PayPal comes out and is like, what are you we don't even have record of what you're talking about.
That's so
And it was so
awful.
embarrassing. And it's like Nicki and Kim still are not good. And then you have the Remy versus Nicki. When Nicki was doing, one of her mixtapes and she came out with a song, she took a little shot at Remy Ma, or so Remy Ma thought. And Remy Ma is on edge. And if you don't know, Remy Ma's, she's a fighter. Remy Ma ended up going to jail for shooting her friend in the stomach for stealing like $1,000 from her.
Oh, she's about it.
Right. Like Lil Kim went to jail for like perjury and like not snitching. And the Remy went to jail for shooting her friend in the stomach over $1,000. I can't imagine ever shooting you for any reason, but I could never imagine shooting you over $1,000.
It's the betrayal.
It is a betrayal.
A gun is just so intense. I'm such a little bitch, though. I can't.
Like shot her, and it was to the point where like this woman has to wear a colostomy bag for the rest of her life because she was shot in this. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And Remy Ma is like one of those things where it's like, no fucks given. She don't care. So then Remy Ma and Nicki, they have this beef, but like Remy's like kind of giving her credit, like, okay, yeah, Nicki's cool, like her music. And they're going back and forth. And some say it's like a one-sided beef. Like Remy had all the problems, but Nicki wasn't checking for her. But then all hell breaks loose when she comes out with Sheether. She comes out with Sheether in, what was it, 2016? And let me just pull up the lyrics to Sheether.
This was like all over the radio.
It was everywhere. I remember when it came out on SoundCloud. It was 2017. It comes out and I was just like, oh.
So how recent was this after she got out of prison?
She got out of prison, I think, like the year.
It was this song, and then she had the one with Fat Joe. What was it?
All the way up.
Yes, that was everywhere.
But they're saying that Nicki was throwing like, subliminals at Remy on her songs Make Love and Swalla. And I don't know, still not confirmed. But then Remy came out with Sheether with Nas's Ether, the beat play in the background. And it's not even broken up into, chorus. Like it's literally one long ass verse. And my favorite part is in the beginning when she was like, you wore a pink diamond chicken wing chain. Are you dumb? You had a leopard print beehive on your head. Are you dumb? Fuck Nicki Minaj. You forgetting I pressed you before, bitch? Again, both from New York. And I think the most damning part of Sheether, it's like obviously she's talking about Meek Mill. She's talking about her butt shot, her lopsided ass. But the worst part is when she says, and I got a few words for the moms of the young barbs. Guess who supports a child molester? Nicki Minaj. You paid for your brother's wedding. That's hella foul. How you spending money to support a pedophile?
And so what does Nicki respond with? No frauds?
I guess no frauds, but I'm like, it's one of those things where it's like, what do you respond to that? It was so bad. She's talking about Drake. She's talking about Safari, but it's like saying Nicki Minaj supports. I mean, if you didn't know, Nicki Minaj's brother is in prison for sex crimes against a young girl. And Nicki Minaj's husband is a registered sex offender, and I'm just going to end that there. I love Nicki Minaj, but there's a lot of, because then it's like she's having the beef with Cardi, because apparently she was talking about Cardi's outer culture. Then they're fighting at that Harper's Bazaar Fashion Week thing. Nicki's throwing shoes. Cardi gets that big ass fucking knot in her head. They were on Motorsport together, and it all kind of felt. I love Motorsport. I think everybody's verse in Motorsport is perfect, and I'm just like, why can't we all
I'm going to
just get
blame
along?
Quavo for Motorsport.
You what?
I blame Quavo.
Why do you blame Quavo?
Because Nicki said that he's the one that asked her to change the verse. He didn't want her to sing on the track. And then when everybody was coming for her saying, oh, Nicki changed her track as soon as Cardi jumped on, he never told the full story. And when she asked him to, he said, well, I would defend you if you were my girl, but you're not.
Okay, and I'm just like, fuck you, Quape, messy ass bitch. And obviously, Cardi
And
was
that's such an Atlanta man thing to
right,
do.
and Cardi was the opposite, so it's like, okay, they're gonna be Team Cardi, and I'm just like, I love watch your man.
And
You should
remember
watch
when
your
Quavo
mouth.
came out with that terrible song about Nicki?
What song?
Because Nicki came out with Barbie Dreams, and she
Yes.
didn't even insult Quavo. She just said something about, I heard, they said
I
I'm
gotta
trying to
make
give the
sure
pussy to
Crucio
Quavo.
Cato. I heard they're trying to something. I heard
Pussy to
the Coochie
Quavo.
Quavo, yeah.
And Quavo came out with this song called Nicki, like, or something. And he's talking about how, like, he gave her all these bags and how he fucked her and she can't deny.
I don't believe that.
Yeah.
Cap. But then it's like you have Nicki versus Cardi. You have Nicki versus Lotto. Nicki versus Megan.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
We had one of the worst diss tracks of all time come out this year, Bigfoot.
I never heard it.
It was so bad because it's like Megan came for Nicki and Drake and a lot of people on her song, Hiss. And then it's just like when she was talking about these hoes ain't mad at Megan, these hoes mad at Megan's Law.
That is good, unfortunately.
They keep bringing up these sex offender things. Why are there so many sex offenders? That's the real fuck. Why is nobody thinking about that? And then she comes out with Bigfoot. She's going on the craziest rant on Twitter, like a weekend of just like angry tweets.
And their beef started because Megan made a song with Cardi.
I think it's because Megan made a song with Cardi and also like...
Because I thought they used to do TikTok.
They did. They were going on live together. And it's like, at this time, I think this was when Nicki was pregnant. And like, it was just like a convoluted mess. But I'm just like, can't we all just get along? But Nicki's got issues with a lot of people. And at one point this year, the City Girls were going back and forth. I'm just like, my God. There's so many rap beefs we haven't even uncovered. We didn't even talk about The Game versus G-Unit and 50 Cent. We didn't talk about 50 Cent versus Ja Rule. Because I know with 50 Cent versus Ja Rule, I mean, you were a Ja Rule fan. At one point, okay, I had her laptop because mine broke and she was like letting me use hers.
This is in college.
And on hers, I was looking at her iTunes.
Without my permission.
I need to have permission to look at your fucking iTunes.
Absolutely. That's so intimate.
On her iTunes, she had every Ja Rule album. I was like, I didn't know you liked Ja Rule this much. It was shocking.
I did really like Ja Rule.
50 Cent versus Kanye. But I think that was playful. That was more of like a marketing thing.
Yeah, I just remember that TRL TV thing where they like were both turning.
Yeah, Drake versus Kanye, checks over stripes. Today we were both wearing stripes.
But I guess they're not Kanye affiliated anymore.
Yeah, no. Okay, so now we have to wrap this up because again, we're going to go on for like 2 hours at this point.
Yeah.
We've talked about a lot of rap beef, a lot of rappers, and like we always do, this podcast is called Dinner Party History. So who are you inviting to the dinner party of all the people we talked about, dead or alive?
It's hard because I can't think of many who I wouldn't want to invite except for Eminem. I'm going to bring Tupac, of course. Nas is it's like, how would I choose between the two?
Not you grinning and Nas.
I'm going to have Tupac to my left, Nas to my right. I'm going to have Nicki there because I really just want to be like, can we just work it out with all these women? Like, can we just pass a spirit stick and maybe have some shrooms? I don't know. You've said that those can do wonders. Anything, but I just want there to be some healing.
Taking shrooms with Nicki with pills and potions.
We didn't really talk. I'm not going to invite Kanye. It's just, I think he could be funny. I've seen a lot of his interviews and he is funny, but it's just.
I'm not going to lie. I kind of want to watch
high.
him eat with these titanium teeth he has. But I'm not going to invite him.
Yeah. Who are you inviting?
I'm going to invite...
Lil' Kim, duh.
I'm inviting Lil' Kim, obviously. Foxy Brown, I don't know. She's a fighter. She was beating bitches up at the nail salon and stuff. She's been, like, known to scrap.
Yet she has such a cute voice.
A cute voice and a
voice
cute
is
face,
so
cute little body. But I'm just like, I'm afraid of Foxy Brown really and truly. So I'm going to invite Lil' Kim. And it's like, do I invite Biggie? I don't know how that's going to...
Yes, I think we need them to heal. We need Tupac and Biggie to heal.
We're going to need a lot of food.
They're going to have a good time. Because isn't that what they said? Like, Biggie became so, like, enamored with Tupac because Tupac was cooking up steaks in the kitchen on their first hangout.
Listen, a man known for being large is going to enjoy the food. Yeah. So we have him. I'll invite him, and I'm going to have Tupac there. And in this magical scenario, this was before shit went haywire. And, you know, there's no issue. So I'm going to invite Biggie, Tupac, Lil' Kim. I'm going to invite 50 Cent. I want him there.
I think you want to sample.
I would have
You want to see what Vivica Fox was talking about.
And she was eating his ass too.
That all I've learned today is that it's ass eating and pedophilia. That's like, those are my takeaways.
Yeah. And definitely
Eminem is a fucking racist.
No Eminem. Definitely no Benzino, no neck having ass. And you know what? I'm going to invite Nas. And it's like, okay, dinner with Jay-Z or $500,000. And today I'm going to have dinner with Jay-Z. You're coming to my dinner party.
Yeah. I don't get the reference.
You've never heard the thing where it's like, would you rather have dinner with Jay-Z or $500,000? And all these idiots are like, no, I'm going to pick dinner with Jay-Z because Jay-Z's going to tell me everything I need to know about the game. And it's like, it became such a meme that people finally asked Jay-Z, like, have you heard about this thing? And he just like, please don't have dinner with me. Just take the
500,000.
Please take the money. People are like, no, it's a trap. He wants you to say you're taking the money. No. And I'm just like, no, take the fucking money.
That's insane.
So yeah, I'm going to have them there. So now, of course, we have to do the fuck, marry, kill.
And we got to be fast.
Okay. Fuck, marry, kill. Tupac. This is all in their primes, mind you. Tupac, Nas, and then 50 Cent. It's hard because I know you're going to kill
I'm going to
50 Cent.
marry Tupac, shag Nas, and kill 50 Cent.
You can't kill him. He was shot. And he still lived. The boy who lived. Okay. Fuck, marry, kill, music-wise. Nas, Jay-Z, and Tupac.
Ooh, that's really difficult.
Like, kill means you can never listen to their music again.
Oh my God.
Think about it.
Even features?
Features count. I didn't even bring up fucking Pusha T versus. Oh my God. We might need
You'll have to do that on your video.
Answer.
Oh God. Okay. No easy decisions. That's so fucking difficult. Oh my God, June, you're so irritating. I'm not killing Jay-Z. I can't do it. He's got too much. I don't want to.
Let me ask this again, because I need to say this for the clip we're going to post online. Okay. Fuck, marry, kill. Kill meaning you can never listen to their music again. One rapper's music gotta go. And I'm doing this because these are people whose music you really like. Tupac, Nas, and Biggie. And if you say one gotta go, you can never listen to them again, and features count. Who's going?
It's so sad to kill someone who's already dead. But I will be letting go of Biggie.
I didn't say Biggie.
Yeah, you did.
I said Tupac, Nas, and Jay-Z.
I thought you said Biggie. Am I hallucinating?
Yes. Okay, one gotta go. One gotta go. And this includes features. You can never listen to them again if they go. Tupac, Nas, and Jay-Z.
I'm going to have to marry Jay-Z because there's so much with Kanye. There's so much with Foxy. And unfortunately, I love that. Yeah, okay, whatever. I'm doing that. Oh, I don't want to kill Tupac, though. Okay, marry Jay-Z. And
Tupac's gotta go.
Yeah.
Gotta rest his soul.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm gonna do rapid fire. Lil' Kim versus Foxy. Who you got?
Foxy.
Biggie versus Tupac.
Tupac.
Jay-Z versus Nas.
Nas.
50 Cent and The Game.
50 Cent.
50 Cent and Ja Rule.
50 Cent.
50 Cent and Kanye.
Kanye.
Lil' Kim versus Nicki.
Nicki.
Nicki versus Megan.
Nicki, don't come for me. Don't come for me. I listen to Nicki's music a lot more than I listen to Megan.
Remy Ma versus Nicki.
Nicki again. I listen to a lot more Nicki than I listen to Remy.
Nicki versus Cardi.
Nicki again. I'm not a Barb.
It sounds like you are.
I don't defend a lot of her actions.
You're a Barb in recovery.
Her music just really, there's too much. Like, I loved Queen as well. You really slept on Queen.
You always say this every
I
single
do
time.
because I feel like what was not
Pusha
clicking?
T versus Drake.
Pusha T.
Lil Wayne versus Pusha T.
Pusha T.
Kendrick versus Drake.
Kendrick.
Drake versus Future.
Future.
The way you said it. Future. Gunna
Yeah.
versus Young Thug.
Young Thug till I die.
And me Gunna till I die, period.
Take that shit
forever.
to trial.
I don't even think they have, do they really have beef?
I
feel
don't
like it's blown
know.
out of proportion. But either way, I love Gunna more than I love Young Thug, unfortunately. Gunna, my man, my man, my man.
I just don't even understand how you can have that thought. Like, I think Gunna's great. Don't get me wrong.
I just prefer Gunna's music to Young Thug. Young Thug does all those silly little voices. And I'm like, I don't like when he does the voices. I don't like when Playboy Cardi does the voices. To me, when Young Thug does those voices, he sounds like Courage the Cowardly Dog. I don't like that. I'm not saying he has bad music. I like a lot of Young Thug songs, but I just prefer Gunna to Young Thug. If we're pitting the girls against each other.
Okay.
But, you know, this has been a really long episode. We've been all over the place, and there's so much more to talk about. This would honestly need to be a part 2. So we're just going to wrap it up now, and I will be doing a TikTok series doing deeper dives into each of these beefs and going more into detail. So stay tuned for that. And yes, you know, we've kind of been, you know, on and off with the podcast a little bit, but Miss Maz has a big girl, full-time, very serious job, and she is under some water right now. And it's like, once we really lock in, we're going to lock back in.
Yeah.
We're going to try to, you know, at least do it at least once a month, twice a month if we're lucky. But please bear with us during this time. But we're so excited.
Yes, this trial can't go on forever.
Yeah, she's in a trial right now. Luckily, not, you know, Tupac's trial.
Young Thug's trial.
That one too. Oh, you wish you were working on his team.
I'd have to excuse myself.
You'd have no problem doing discovery. You're going to fight for your man. Every single deposition, you are going to make sure Young Thug is getting out.
I'd be taking those direct examinations very, very seriously, as I always do.
So please make sure you like and follow. I will be creating a Dinner Party History Instagram. By the time you guys are watching this, there will be a Dinner Party History Instagram and a TikTok. And also, please, please, please don't forget to leave us a 5-star review wherever you listen to your podcast. We really, really appreciate that. But again, thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for watching this. Bye-bye.